Tell me about the song "You Wouldn't Like Me," because who wouldn't like you?
Well, I find my songs really I hate saying it because it comes off sometimes a little weird, but I think when you listen to music, generally you make it about yourself. You know, when you hear something that really sticks out in a song that reflects something that's happening in your own life, you know, immediately those people go away and the song goes away and it's just about you. And when I'm writing, it's a very similar kind of situation. I'll start writing something and the words will start coming together in the melody, and before I know it, I'm really lost in my own train of thought. And I really was writing the majority of the songs on this record for myself. So a song like "You Wouldn't Like Me" is like not like you wouldn't like me, like me talking to myself, like you wouldn't like me. Like if I ran into me, I wouldn't like me. Like sometimes the way that I come across seems abrasive, or like I'm very vocal, and like sometimes I can't even stop. Sara calls me like autistic and like I have Tourette's and stuff, but I really don't know if that's necessarily wrong with me, but sometimes I'm like a train wreck, like I just can't stop. And that song was literally like a reflection on some moments I'd had in the months leading up to the point where I wrote that song, where I felt really embarrassed of myself, like where I was like, oh God, just stop talking, just stop. And then
don't hit yourself, just stop now.
So yeah, so that song's really just about me. I really think you probably will like me. I'll work really hard to make you like me.
Yeah.
But then at the end, I might hate myself for it.
That's all right, because I really don't like anyone.
Oh, good. Okay.
Really?
No pressure.
So you're going to have to work really hard.
This is a good business to be in if you don't like people, huh?
Exactly.
You're like, I'm going to work in the music industry and I'm going to interview people all the time, even though I generally hate people.
Yeah.
Yep.
You should have been a scientist or something.
I should have.
Maybe he was joking.
It could have been.
Yeah, you could have been joking.
You'll never know.
Never know. See? You should write a song about it.
Your songs, they're quite serious songs. Like you were saying before, you know, you're actual songwriters and all of that.
Yeah.
I know the first time I saw you was whenever the first time was that you were in Australia.
Bazillion years ago.
Bazillion years ago.
Yeah.
I've seen you a few times since then. The whole stage thing is such a, you know, fun, playful, muck around kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we launch into "You Wouldn't Like Me."
I think it's so funny to me. Like I have friends who've known me for like years, like since before I even knew I could write music. I have friends who say to me sometimes that
You have friends?
I have friends. They're secret friends. Some of them aren't even alive, but no. But I have friends who've known me, like, you know, like I said, since I was like a teenager and I was a kid and geeky and whatever. And they say to me sometimes, it's so weird to listen to the music that you make because you kind of sound like sad and intense and tortured or jealous or whatever. All these there's like these sort of like the negative side or the more kind of like darker side of who we are as people. And then they know us as people and like we're fun and outgoing and kind of gregarious and whatever. And I think that like I think like a lot of people are very complex. Like I've met really, really serious songwriters, and then they're the life of the party, or the reverse. You know, like they're like this really outgoing band. You know, they're making like the kind of music that people like party to or jump up and down to, and then you meet them and they're like super introverted, and they can't hold your eye contact, and they can't. And so I mean, I think as artists too, I know that I use music as a way to express myself without feeling that kind of like guilt or shame about being the downer person, you know? Like, I don't sit around with my friends, like, I'm not one of those people that's always like, oh God, can I just bend your ear for a couple of minutes about my problems? Like, I'm just not really like that.
I get so jealous, I just can't work.
Yeah, and so then when I'm sitting down to actually write a song, like, I can really explore those other things.
And that live show is like
on,
literally a physical like playing out of that experience, you know, like our music is really dark, but I'll come out of playing a song, or Sara will do one of her songs like So Jealous specifically, like, and I'll be down at the keyboard and look over and she'll be like, you know, so into it, and there would be a moment of insecurity, like, oh my God, like we're so intense, and so like the next second I get to have opportunity to speak, it's like we tell a funny story and everyone laughs, and it loosens up the audience a bit too. And I think it also is a good, you know, sort of reflection of our personalities, which is that we are people pleasers and we want everyone to have a good time and enjoy themselves and like us. But then there is this other part of us that's really super intense and can be really vocal, and like we're super heated people and like really passionate about lots of things, and it can be kind of intense and a downer. Like you can see people starting to shift and we'll be like going on a rant about something, and then just when you're just about to get so uncomfortable you want to leave, we'll crack some sort of joke and everything just releases. And I think that's sort of our live experience.